The town of Kitty Hawk is among the most beautiful places on the East Coast to live. However, that beauty can quickly turn into rough ocean overwash flooding or soundside flooding caused by wind-driven tide. Excessive rain events bring more flooding problems. Any of these events have a negative impact on providing emergency response to residents or visitors.
The town has invested in a stormwater removal system in order to facilitate access by emergency response personnel to all our citizens in a timely fashion.
The number one goal for the town of Kitty Hawk after a hurricane or major flooding event is emergency response. And as part of the emergency response plan, the town of Kitty Hawk has installed 7 pumping stations in between NC 12 and US 158 in order to alleviate and reduce the stormwater standing in the roadways. The number one priority is obviously life and safety after a major storm event, and it's important that our emergency vehicles such as police, fire, and EMS are able to get to our residents in a timely manner.
The North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality's policy states that we're only allowed to pump flood or standing water to ensure emergency response capability to the impacted areas. When we pump, we mark these areas with signage so people know as to not swim in these areas.
We submitted a plan to the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality, and that plan allows us, through a pre-approval process, to say we'll do certain things under certain conditions if we give you a call and you give us permission. And using that, we can then pump storm water into the ocean under certain conditions.
The town has 7 pump-out stations located at Bird Street, Fonk Street, Bennett Street, Hawk Street, Starfish Lane, Hallett Street, and Tateway Avenue. Those stations are all located in some of the lowest lying areas where they can do the most good.
These stations are not equipped with permanently installed pumps. Since these pumps are expensive to purchase, operate, maintain, and insure, we rent them from an outside vendor. Pumping is done to clear the roadways for emergency services and only for that reason.
The town of Kitty Hawk continuously monitors the weather during storm events, and this dictates whether or not the town will begin pumping operations.
More recently, what we did was we ran a pipe under 158 down by the Tateway, that's the south end of town, and that allows us to pull both sides of 158 and part of Tateway, which is always flooded, the place called Rabbit Hollow. So that alleviated some problems there and gives us much more pumping capability in a wider area. We're continuing to invest in other areas where we see spots that we can add to this pumping system, but this will come over time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.